what I came to understand through, in part, through work with, spiritual technologies, from breath work to, ayahuasca, to understand that, in fact, we do have the ability to connect without any kind of causal connection. It's very basic quantum mechanics. If particles can be entangled across relatively infinite space-time regions, and they are correlated, or there's a way of showing that there is a way for these things to communicate, then anything's really possible, and especially communication between galaxies. So that's something I'm very interested in, and I do think that the disclosure movement is going to bring to light technologies that we possess, that are within the most miraculous technology that I know of, which is the human body and soul, that will enable us to do things with our intention and our energy that will literally help to heal the biosphere. And I do think that starts within our own bodies, because, as you heal your body, you're starting to actually heal the biosphere. And that involves more than just eating the right things and drinking the right things, right? But it has to do with also going through the emotional bodies and the trauma bodies that we inherit from previous generations. And I think that's the kind of work that's most exciting to me.
It is the holographic experience of reality, as we were talking about before, and how how consciousness essentially chooses which reality we're going to partake in. And I think that the most recent Nobel Prize was given to quantum physicists who basically were proving that we are non-local in this universe in terms of being able to influence. They were showing exactly what we're talking about, like the quantum entanglement across many, I think it's thousands of miles, if not more, if not millions. But the point being that they were talking also about how non-locality is precisely that you can influence things through consciousness without being directly physically causally connected to it. Yeah. And so they're also saying that it's also not locally real. So it's almost like it is choose your own adventure experience of this reality, right? That so you think, as the old axioms about so you think you become, and those kind of things are very they make sense in the way that, well, yeah, as you talk about, like how you're feeling in your body is a reflection of your of things that you both are feeling but also maybe suppressed. And so how can we bring to the surface that which we've suppressed to bring more awareness to it? It's not because we're gonna basically, oh, it's darkness, we don't want to face it. No, by facing it, by bringing more light and more awareness to it, more love to it, right, we transmute through that process. And so we've chosen these these experiences, these bodies, for purposes of evolution, to go through a very difficult reality. This physical world, it's as beautiful as the natural world is. We know that there's horror in the natural world, right? And so, of course, that natural world, that horror is also playing out on the human scale, but even worse in many ways because of the traumas and the other influences that is carried, as you say, from other generations, but it also is soul imprints. It could be even from other, incarnations and other worlds coming through, in this experience, because it's so multidimensional. We really don't know all that we're dealing with. We don't see hardly any of reality. We don't even, our visual spectrum it's like, less than 1%, and our, auditory spectrum and all these things. It's like, we don't engage with reality. We're like little bandwidths of, very vast potential experience. And so really it's a question of where we choose to engage our energy and our consciousness in building out a new earth, a golden age, essentially, right? But first we have to go through this transition phase, which is, man, it's like the old systems have to crumble, right? And we have to plant the seeds from that crumbling, right? It's like you got to dig up the earth, dig it up so that you can plant those new seeds, churn it out, right? Get it out. You can't plant a seed where there's already a structure in place. You gotta, and I think the universe is doing that, right, through us. We're just part of the experience. We're not, any one of us is not the agent in charge. We're all part of this collective experience of transition.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's a growing awareness that the default state of being in this plane is actually abundance, at least here on Earth. I mean, you can take an acre of land through permaculture techniques and you can have it produce literally like a near infinite amount of nutrition and energy. And it's so self-sustaining. In fact, it's more than just 1 calorie in produces a calorie. You can get back 2 calories from 1 calorie in. I mean, the equations that are operative that bias abundance in this universe are so profound that I think that's one of the greatest socially engineered secrets, is that if people understood that abundance and not scarcity was the default, then basically the entire control structure, right, which is predicated on dividing us against one another, and for there to be a perception of scarcity, which activates our limbic and makes us fearful and wanting us to hoard, and all the things that bring out that so-called animal nature are really based on a lot of misconceptions that are engineered into, the whole stack, right? From academia and religious structures all the way, down to everyday interactions.